homemade yams, fresh string beans from the garden, smothered pork chops over rice with gravy, macaroni and cheese, fried pork chop and biscuits. Come in and see how it was all prepared. Why not? Why not?
Kick.
Why not? And it's your pretty lady.
I need you some true competition.
Everybody shake your baby.
Why not? All right, we have our fresh pork chop just purchased from the store, family pack. I actually got 2 packs. Some cheese. I wanted all the cheese in there. Plus, I got that sharp cheddar back there. Some fresh string beans from the garden. Yes, you pick them, clean them, freeze them. Some yams. Gonna put those in the water, and these are the seasonings we're using for the yams. Some nutmeg, honey. I've got some cinnamon back there, some corn syrup. Yes, I'm gonna make my own little thickening. That browning salt, seasoning salt, and tenderizer. This is what I'm using for dinner today. So y'all come in. All right, I'm seasoning my water. So we have our pepper and our salt. Yes, I spit it up. This is our chicken seasoning. So what I'm doing, and a little bit of butter. I'm actually seasoning my water for my fresh string beans. I already had a little bit of sugar in there and a little bit of vinegar. So now I'm going to add the frozen string beans in. I'm going to let that do what it does. I know a lot of us are used to those long thin string beans. These are the flat ones. You know, the ones that really hurt your fingernails. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to boil my potatoes. Yes, the skin is still on. Because as we know, to cut potatoes, you can literally break a finger. So you boil them with the skin on. Don't let them get all the way done. Then you can peel them easily and then cut them, which you'll see me do later. So now I'm washing my pork chops to get them ready to season them. To put those in the refrigerator until it's time to fry. So I'm seasoning it now with my meat tenderizer. Each and every one, you do them like cars. Pepper. Yeah, y'all gonna see me flipping a good bit. Some mustard, some yellow mustard. I normally do yellow mustard and hot sauce, but I'm just gonna do yellow mustard this time. So I season every single one of them because some of them are going to be fried and some of them are going to be smothered. But I'm going to show you with the gravy and everything, the process of me preparing the gravy, and then as I add the pork chops after I fry them. Yes, rub that in really good. Let it coat all of it. It gives it a pretty brown when you use that mustard. You really don't taste the mustard flavor, but it just gives it a beautiful browning when you fry it. I'm just getting them together so I know how I want to adjust it. Now I'm doing my roux. So I got my browning, put a lot of browning with a little bit of water, some flour is in there, and just stirring it up, getting it ready. So I have it when it's time to start. Yep. There we go. Alright, so I'm now making my sauce for my yams. Got my brown sugar. I think that's vanilla. Then we're going to have some cinnamon. And then we're going to do some nutmeg. Then we're going to do some corn syrup. And I didn't have it up here, but I am going to put a little bit of regular sugar in there as well. And then here we go with our honey. And we're just going to let that thicken a little bit. I'm going to thicken it later with some cornstarch and water. Just like I did my regular roux, but just with cornstarch this time. So I'm gonna let that cook, and then I think I'm gonna get ready to do these potatoes so you can see. All right, so I have the potatoes out now. And as you remember me telling you earlier, I did them with the skin on because it's so hard to peel and cut potatoes, sweet potatoes. So once you wash them good and you put them in the water to boil them, the skin comes off so much more easier than if you were to sit there and cut and cut and cut. And then you'll still see when I start cutting it that they still thick. And I didn't want to, cut all of them like the same size in little rounds. You know how you have them different sizes. And I probably could have cut them a little bit bigger because I'm going to let it just cook on low. And really my dad doesn't eat yams. He said he ate them too much growing up. And I eat yams, but I won't eat sweet potato pie or sweet potato bread. Now, y'all can have that. So I'm gonna just be quiet and let y'all see me finish these potatoes. Y'all, they were still hot. I just had to come and tell y'all that. That's why my fingers, they were still hot. I just took them out of pot. So I was just trying to get them ready so I can show y'all the method of me cutting them with the hubs on. And you can also do regular white potatoes like this too. I normally do that as well. Sometimes, I like to leave the hubs on, the skins on for white potatoes. But if you don't, you can use the same method. But of course, boil that a lot shorter time than you would sweet potatoes, because regular potatoes are not as thick. That's the thickness. They still got a good bite to them. You can actually take a knife and stick your knife in it, and it'll still stick to the knife. So there I go, putting it in my syrup I made. That goodness that go with the yams. See? Take it right up with the knife. All right, now let's move on to the next thing. Oh, don't they look delicious? And look, they're not even all the way done yet. Alright, now we're cutting the onion. Y'all know I do not like cutting onions. But I'm going to use my hand. Now, a tip. The way you get the onion smell off of your hand, well, let me tell you this tip first. Don't cut off the bottom of your onion. Then you won't release those fumes that make you cry. Leave that on as long as possible. And once you finish cutting them, then you get some hand washing soap and salt, and you make it into like a paste. And then you scrub that on your hand. That kind of like take that onion flavor, onion smell away. All right, so I'm gonna start my roux or my gravy. So I already got my slurry. That's what I got. I got my slurry. I'm gonna let that cook down, and then I'm gonna add just a little bit of water, just to get it started before I start including or adding my slurry into what I have there. And I just season it with salt and pepper. And mind you, I didn't season everything a lot because the meat is seasoned, and I'm gonna season the flour for the fried pork chop. So here I am thickening it now with my slurry. And you just stir. I normally try and stir where I'm pouring so it don't clunk up and be like a dumpling. So as you can see, it's getting thicker. My dad doesn't like really thick gravy, and I'm going to thin it out some with some more water, but I just want to make sure I have it thick enough. And you have to remember, as you add the pork chop, it's already breaded and fried, so that's going to thicken it even more. So I just want that pretty brown and have it good and thick, but I'm going to add more water. So I was just tasting, so of course I'm going to add a lot more pepper and a little bit more salt. I didn't want to over salt anything, because you can always add salt as you eat, but once you over salt something, it's kind of like ruined. Alrighty, there we go with the pepper. Pepper. It's not gonna make it spicy, it's just a nice flavor with the pepper. And I am going to prepare the things for the macaroni, but Tyra's going to finish fixing it. I'm going to cut the cheese and okay. I'm going to cut the cheese, mix the egg. Yes, we did use some egg and milk, and season that. Get that ready. All right, y'all. Y'all see my bag over there? No, I did not have a paper bag. If you like to help, I had to use my plastic bags, but I got it tripled. So now I'm dropping in my pork chop in the grease to fry that. And when I do my pork chops, I like to cut a slit in the middle of each pork chop to make sure that that they cook through. So now I'm adding more pork chop into my flour, my seasoned flour. Shaking it up. And y'all see that? Got another tongue. That tongue is for the cooked pork chop. So I have one for the raw, to pick it up, put it in the flour, and then I have one to take it up. And that's the one I'm using to take it up once it's done. And I could have used a skillet, but I had a flashback of when Tyra did hers. There we go, y'all. Here we go. Putting the pork chop into the gravy, the onion gravy. I'm going to show you. Wait. Here it is. There we go. And that's just, we don't need too much salt. 3 pieces so far. 3 or 4 pieces. Alright, this is it. Rice, fresh string beans, fresh yam. Y'all see that all the way down. A smothered pork chop, macaroni and cheese, and there goes some pork chop. My sister had already fixed her plate. Yes, y'all, this is my dinner. I hope y'all enjoyed me preparing it. And if you want, try it and tag me in it. Thank y'all so much. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit that bell so you have notifications every time I post.
Why not?
Kick.
Why